What's up, guys? Welcome to the Mix It Up podcast. I am Mike. That is John. John,
Yo,
you brought your boy Joe with you.
that's
Happy
right.
birthday, Joe. You guys were
Thank
out
you.
partying?
My little birthday present is to
Happy
get
to be
him fired from his job on Monday.
Happy to be here.
There you
Working
go.
HR.
You work
What's
HR?
So I do the hiring and the firing. We'll be
Oh,
okay.
perfect. So you're protected.
We'll see. These days, I don't know if you call me a protected class or not, but
I don't think so. I guess I'd sucking dick to be a protected class in this world.
Yeah, probably not. Nobody's protected. But we'll try to keep it tame here on the podcast. I know, John, you were asking a question about my background. If you guys watch on YouTube, I got a background that it's a place called Hurricane.
I just saw the cane and got excited, but
Yeah. So it's a place right down in your neck of the woods, well, close to you, Wildwood, New Jersey.
okay.
It's
The
one of the
fourth
worst
great
titty
wonder of
bars.
the world.
What's that?
It's one of the worst titty bars, but also one of the best titty bars.
Is that the
So
one right by the strip, Mike?
yes,
Like 3 blocks off the strip. Yeah, I know you very well. You know,
yes,
being
Joe.
from
I think I
Jersey.
might have seen you in there before.
Maybe it's very possible, bro. You might have
So-
seen me getting thrown out of there.
Yeah, it's definitely something you do when you're banged up, when you first get down to Wildwood when you're on vacation. It's something to do. Me and my boy Crazy Chris, fan of the podcast, friend of the show, friend of real life. We went down there. We've been down there for a few years in a row. We also had a small group back in the day. We went with my boy John and Eugene as well. Yeah, definitely one of the. It wasn't like a great strip club. You know, it's like something you just end up there. You know, you don't know how to get there, but you just end up there. You know?
Yeah.
We all been there, right?
I mean, not to Hurricane specifically, but places that you wouldn't have gone to voluntarily without some inhibitions being lowered.
Yeah, my ambitions always get lower after like about 3-4 beers.
Yeah.
So
I
that
feel
was
like that's what it takes to get down to Wildwood to begin with, though.
what'd you say, Joe?
I feel like that's what it takes to get down to Wildwood to begin with, right? 3 or 4 beers, and then let's just go down the shore, right? That's a very, very Jersey thing.
Yeah.
Wildwood strip though. From we both live in Central Jersey. That's a 2-hour ride or so. Back when I graduated high school, all the high schools around us, the senior prom, the post prom was in Wildwood for the weekend. That was the last time I was there. That was 21 years ago, sadly enough.
It's like a 3.5 hour, close to 4-hour ride from me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
about
it.
that.
Yeah, to get down there. But definitely it was definitely worth it, man. We always had a good time like going down there.
I think best beach in Jersey is in Wildwood Crest.
Really?
Area. Yeah, for sure. Like as far as like sand, ocean exposure, you know, like it's connected, disconnected from most of the, you know, the rest of the Jersey Shore. Like pretty good beach, but at the same time, pretty trashy.
Yeah, let's say there's some riffraff down there, just to put it lightly. So
You stay in the crest, you get a little closer to Cape May, it gets a little bit better. Don't worry.
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
more
the
grass.
crest. Yeah, that's where we usually stay. We stay in the crest and we walk down to the
Mhm.
bad part so we could get hammered, you know?
Yeah, ain't no strip clubs in the good parts, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I don't think it exists anymore. I think they closed it down because it was so fucking raunchy. It's so bad.
Hurricane?
Yeah, they closed it down, unfortunately. I think it might be like another hotel. You know,
I mean, a hotel out of a strip club. How big is a fucking strip club?
it was pretty big. It was pretty enormous for
The
the value.
VIP rooms are still there, though, right?
Yeah, they had like 2.5 strippers there, and then the VIP room. I was in the VIP room a couple times. Bad decision, you know, but you don't make good decisions when you're in there, when you're in the hurricane. So thank
That's
God that
understood.
doesn't exist anymore. But you know what does exist is the Epstein Files. Have you guys been like, I don't know, kind of like reading up on this? Have you guys been on the DOJ website and looking up these files?
I have not, but anytime I scroll on Twitter, it's just found this in the fucking files, found that in the files, and it's like crazy. Fucking from adrenochrome to fucking child sacrifices to the Clintons and fucking anybody else who's part of the Democratic Party, some Republicans. It's really any conspiracy theorist from like 2000, 2005, around that time frame has been fully vindicated at this point.
Dude, I agree. Like all the conspiracy theorists, man, I apologize for ever downing you. I didn't want to believe like the elites and the celebs like were eating babies. Like I just didn't think that was possible. But now I'm thinking like, were they really human? Are they fucking lizard people? Because I know the lizard people, you know, conspiracy theories always say, oh no, they're fucking lizards and shit. And I'm starting to believe them. Everything now.
I mean, it's really crazy. Whether or not what's in there is 100% true, because I think what they do is they'll they'll let out information, but then they let out a bunch of false information to muddy the waters. So
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what portion of it's true or not, but there is definitely something to that, bro. They're just demonic fucking people. It's the only thing that explains trying to tear down our society, trying to chop off kids' body parts, trying to fucking go to socialism and ruin fucking capitalism, trying to brainwash generations of people, trying to get all black people to shoot each other and black women to kill 20 million people in the womb a year. It's demonic behavior. It's the only thing that creates a through line through all the fucking bullshit. They're just demonic.
Yeah, it really does, man. I think they're all demons. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is coming out in emails. You know, Wayfair.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
at a
god, that came
Wayfair,
out years ago.
right? Yeah, but this is now it shit is in emails for people that don't know. Like kids that have gone missing over the years. Say one girl missing kid was named Shaylin. You would see on the website of Wayfair a cabinet. A regular cabinet goes for like $120, but they would call the cabinet Shaylin cabinet, and they would put an astronomical price of like
Yeah.
28,000 or some shit for a cabinet. And then you could be like, well, what the fuck's in the cabinet? So now, like, we are starting to see, like, and they're all connected, like, the different names of the cabinet to names of missing, like, children over the years.
Yeah.
And this is coming true. And you're just like, what the fuck? These people are, like, really fucking sick and twisted. And to use a website and to sell on this fucking website and then figure out, like, the owner of the company of Wayfair is connected in the Epstein files is just ridiculous.
Is he?
That's insane. I did not know that. That's
It's
validated.
Whoa.
it's pretty much like, yeah, it's coming to like fruition. Like, I mean, I want to say allegedly, so I don't want to get sued or get murdered.
Sure.
You know,
It's all
I don't want to
allegedly.
be
It's
the
a
next
fucking
one.
bullshit podcast. But all right. So the Wayfair fucking how'd you get that? The Wayfair conspiracy came out like during the pandemic,
It did.
where they were saying cabinets for fucking Cindy were 20 grand and everything you just said. And then it kind of just fizzled out and disappeared out of the ether until now you're bringing it up.
But like, is it some guy that's just looking at Wayfair, designing some terrible code words for how they're going to traffic their children this week, or is it really like entwined in the business of Wayfair? Like, that's the like both diabolical, regardless, right? One less creative than the other, but like at the same time, like diabolical to begin with.
I think
Which
it has
is-
to be connected. It has
If
to be
the
connected.
owner of Wayfair is in the Epstein files to some degree, then it's plausible that
Plausible.
he said, you know what, I got this logistics fucking company, and I could send, Wei Ling to your house. Give me fucking 72 hours, and I'll have her fucking right at your front door, ready to go.
Yeah,
It's all plausible, and just the fact that we could be having this conversation and we're not talking about some fucking horror movie is bananas.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
not science fiction at all.
dude, it's not science fiction. Definitely, you're damn right, man. It's like it's just like it's really fascinating, but it's disturbing. Obviously, it's crazy. I wouldn't think I would like be living in a time where like you could actually believe all this shit. But now, like with the age of the internet and social media and everything, we get to hear a lot of information. We get to hear like a lot of the truth that normally would be so easy to hide. Remember all the kids that just gone missing and they put them on these back in milk cartons and shit.
Mhm.
You really think nothing of it. Maybe that was fucking advertisement too, and we have fucking no idea. So it's really like
That's
it's
a
all
thought.
disturbing. But I mean, me and John, like John, I know you're gonna hate to hear this, but look what came out with the Epstein files with our Giants owner, Steve Tisch.
Mm.
Like it's fucking disappointing, man. I think
Yeah.
for context, I think a lot of people, I think the line is like be careful who your heroes are. I think a lot of people are going to be let down because now like Steve Tisch, he had coming out like he wanted like scouting reports on fucking women. Of course, that's what he said in the emails. He wants scouting reports on young women, emphasis on young. And then he came out with that bullshit lame apology the very next day after it all came out, which just even look even more guilty. And I understand like a lot of fans want him to sell the team, based on that, all that, but it's hard to say because in the emails, sure, it's in the emails, it came out with an apology, but you can't force him to sell the team as of right now. You have to have definitive proof You know what I mean? So right now it's a lot of like hearsay, even though it's believable. You came out of half-assed apology saying you just wanted like regular women. Listen, we all know in all businesses around the world, these higher ups, it doesn't matter if you're an NFL owner, whoever you are, you're going down and you're getting these fucking escorts, these hookers, you know, especially these NFL owners when they're going down for Super Bowls, they're getting high class escorts left and right. There's no doubt about it. So there's some pervs that just go below the fucking age fucking barrier. And don't forget, like most of these women are probably trafficked anyway, the regular above age women. And these guys are just like, they're sick, man. I just feel bad for like Giants Nation to have to go through this fucking shit with the owner. We can't escape this.
I'm glad that he was able to get John Harbaugh in the building, and then this came out right after that.
Thank God.
Because the contract signed, so he's not going nowhere, Harbaugh. But I don't see a world where he doesn't end up having to sell the team or sell his portion of the team, because I know that they have the Koch family is part of it as well. Second time that came up. And then obviously the Maras are the main owners. Mm-hmm. But I could see definitely within the next year or so that the Tisches are going to have to sell their share of the team. Which
Kraft is doing just fine, John.
But was Kraft noticing the emails?
I don't know.
He just went to
have redaction happening in those emails. It's really hard to tell. You know, you get a little bit of clearance and then, excluded from the Tom Brady roast. It's quite possible that he's in there and just redacted still.
That's true. Yeah. The Tom Brady roast was fucking brutal with some of that. Some of those.
I was not feeling any of that mention of Kraft at all. Yeah. Right?
Well, maybe he knew.
To sweep under the rug. Oh, that's a bold statement.
Don't forget, a lot of these people, they know. These elites know.
Yeah.
And that's why they joke around about it, which is fucking crazy. And just, and then like people that, the good people, like the Chester Benefield, Chris Cornell, Ann Heche, they were working on a documentary about the child abuse and all this shit. Two of them, like Chester, Cornell first, he ends up like hanging himself, quote unquote. I don't fucking believe that. Chester hangs himself 2 weeks later on Cornell's birthday, whatever. I don't fucking believe that. Ann Heche, remember the car accident? She was fucking driving really fast. And all of a sudden, like, apparently she couldn't fucking use her brakes. It was like electric. They took over a car.
Paul Walker, bro. Same thing.
Paul Walker was another one. Dude, we're naming names. Did you see the video of Ann Heche where she tried to get out
on the gurney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how insane is that? I mean, do you want me to put it on the video? Joe, did you see this with Ann Heche trying to get out? I'm going to show, I'm going to share the screen right here.
Martin Lawrence, same thing, bro. He was fucking back in the 90s running in the street in his underwear, fucking screaming about they're trying to kill me. And I guess, he ended up agreeing to whatever it was. But watch this fucking video, man.
Dude, he's another one. Martin Lawrence, that was fucking losing his mind. Dave Chappelle, when he went away, that was another one. All right, here's the for people that are watching on Ann Heche. Ann Heche just got into the car accident. They wrapped her up fully. They have her fully like she's a dead person in this fucking in this body. Now look what happens.
From 6 days, 7 nights, Donnie Brasco, Wag the Dog, Volcano, and there is a dramatic moment there just before being put into the movie.
Can you believe that? She's trying to get out.
Moment there just before being put
guys on top of her
to the ambulance to take to the hospital. That his driver was identified as Ann Heche. You can see.
Now that's a little ridiculous, right? That she's wrapped up in this fucking thing. She's trying to get out. She's trying to escape. Instead of them like looking at her, they just shove her right in the fucking vehicle. They don't fucking
the guy jumps on top of her, pushes her down like this.
Like what are you doing? And now if you look at the vehicles around, it doesn't look real. It looks like these people were fucking like sent there. They don't look like real fucking EMS or firefighters or whatever. I mean,
was the house on fire?
The car.
There were 7 fire trucks. Why are there 7 fire trucks if there's no fucking fire?
For a car, and they're blocking all the roads for anybody to get in. I don't think these fucking.
I didn't know this is who this lady was.
Yeah, and Heche. She's been in lots of movies.
Yeah.
She's probably like fucking 65 right now.
Dude,
she's dead.
The other guys.
She died in that accident?
That's what they said. That's the official story. She died there. They fucking killed her after.
Right. They definitely killed her after that. There's no question about it. Like, if somebody that you thought was dead came out of the fucking like the things, the clothes or whatever, and they're trying to grab you or whatever, wouldn't you be like, hey, you okay? They wouldn't just immediately push you down. they would just like be like, hey, well, you know, you okay? What can we do? They wouldn't just shove you in the fucking thing and try to
It did look like
get
it
out of
was
there.
fire. It was fire, not EMS taking her in. But still, at the same time, EMS was there.
Yeah, it's very strange, man. They're all in like all yellow gear, every single one of them in yellow gear. So it could have been like, but who? Maybe they were hired. Maybe they were hired to be there at that time and to take away. I don't know, but that's I don't know. It's a little fucking scary, man.
Why wouldn't this organization that has the means of trafficking children, blackmailing celebrities and politicians and fucking, you know, fucking titans of industry, blackmail everyone? Why wouldn't they have a cleanup crew? Almost like Marvel has the fucking I forget the name of the cleanup crew that Marvel uses in all the comic books. Like whoever comes in after, there's a name for it. I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But why is that implausible that this fucking global network of billionaires and multi-millionaires that are part of this have a fucking cleanup crew that just has, you know, black sites that fucking, you know, you would never know as a thing that they could just send out and say, okay, this person's fucking gone. We got him. Clean up the fucking scene. Tell them whatever crime report or police report you need. Boom, boom, boom. See you later. And then you Google her 3 years later and just said she died in a car accident. That's all you know.
But how many people are in this network, right? You've got 32 teams. You've got how many owners attached to those teams?
That's just the
NFL. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, right, you've got that network in itself, right? And then you've got the Epstein Files and the people that have been known and attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
What if that expands beyond?
Of course,
right?
Of course, it's one industry.
Right, but then you've got like a separate but equal affluent organization and group of people that, you know, have multiple 32 teams, multiple owners to the majority of those 32 teams. What's the level of shared connections there, right? And at what level does that go, right? You've already got multiple NFL owners that have, you know, deviant behavior, to say the least, exposed online, swept under the rug repeatedly, right? Yep. Those same people sweeping this shit under the rug? I don't know. Dude, you know, there's so many elbows that this goes out through and branches, and I mean, it starts with unredacted files and goes how deep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like. I'm going to go into like about the, you know, you're talking really about the NFL, which, you know, with Steve Tisch in particular. Like, I'm going to go down like a little bit of rabbit hole. He had a daughter that killed herself a couple months after the Epstein got arrested in like 2020. So what did she know? Like, this is allegedly, but like nobody knows. Like, I mean, a daughter that has the money like that is just going to off herself, and nobody talks about her. You know, Steve Tisch's daughter from like one of his marriages. You know, and she was like 30 something years old, and she just offs herself. I mean, I think when Epstein got arrested, I think she just got overwhelmed with all like the fucking bad memories and bad shit. She probably seen a lot of shit. And I'm sure, you know, the Maras fucking see some other shit. We have like Kate that's in the movie industry. Yeah. The other one, Rooney. I'm sure they seen some shit in the fucking industry. They just like they keep it like tight lipped. You know,
it's just scary. The only thing that makes sense, like, Candace Owens definitely went off the deep end a little bit. Who knows what she's saying? But one thing that just seems to make sense is that there's just a blackmail ring around the world for anybody who has any influence. And this goes back to last time I was on here. I was saying we're living in the post-victory of evil. And it just makes sense that if they won hundreds of years ago, if they're going to allow someone to become famous, right, rich and famous, and actually have power and influence over society, and to whatever degree, you can't have that and just be free. Right? There'd be no way that you would allow that to happen without saying, okay, you want to come to these parties, you want to fucking live the life, all of a sudden, boom, you're in a room with a fucking girl who you thought was 18. She's actually fucking 16. Now you have blackmail on you, and it's whatever they say, unless the shit's coming out and you want to ruin your life and go to jail forever. So it makes sense that anybody who graduates to that level, one of the rites of passions, for the lack of a better term, is that having been put into a situation knowingly or unknowingly, probably more unknowingly than knowingly, that you're now compromised and you have to answer to the masters above. It's the only thing that makes any sense.
Well, who are those gatekeepers, right? Who are those masters above, right? And how deep does that?
George Soros, the fucking the people who are fucking paying what's his face, Jeffrey Epstein, the CIA in general has fucking the talons in there, FBI, all these government agencies and shit.
Yep.
It's fully plausible that they just have a full network of blackmail. They had it with Diddy. What's the chances that was all organic? Wouldn't it make more sense that Diddy was a CIA operative that said, you know what, I'm going to be the king of fucking black culture in America for 15, 20 years. And then everybody gets invited to these freak off parties. And then there's videos of them fucking dudes in the ass, girls getting fucking gangbanged and shit. They don't want that shit getting out.
I don't know about CIA, but definitely like
it's certainly
puppet,
CIA.
Yeah, it could be
definitely a puppet, if nothing else, right? A tool being used and then being discarded when it was of no longer use.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
like, what are the chances that Diddy's really in a cell right now? Doesn't it make more sense that he gets put in there once a week, goes to the fucking hall so everybody sees him once every couple weeks, and they fly him out on a jet to some island somewhere and fucking he goes back just to make appearances, but really he's just on an island somewhere.
I believe
I
that
still
more
can't
than
get
anything.
over the mugshot, Mike. Like the mugshot with Diddy when he went in. It's like, is that even him? That's not the bad boy that I saw my whole life growing up. Didn't look like him. Didn't look like his face was constructed the same way that it was for 30 years on national television and in business. I mean, very, very different.
They say that with like Epstein, and they also say that with Britney Spears. It came out.
Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, Eminem.
That's another one. I mean, but it came out in the Epstein Files. This is allegedly right now, but they were looking to clone Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, if you look at Britney Spears on social media right now, she's going around, she's dancing half naked or naked. She's playing with knives. It looks like she's fucking malfunctioning. It looks like she's a fucking clone that's malfunctioning. And I'm fucking believing. I'm like, Britney Spears back in the day, yo, banging, fucking 10 and a half,
America's sweetheart,
whatever you want to call it. Her and Christina Aguilera, banging. I don't know what happened to Britney, but she just lost her fucking mind or did get cloned, which is crazy.
Why is that impossible? Why is it impossible? I mean,
not anymore.
They let the
technology exist.
That's because the public knew about real cloning 30 years ago at this point, and that was like public knowledge.
Dolly the sheep.
Exactly. Those 30 years ago. Why is that impossible? That they've been doing this shit for decades, and like everything else, it gets filtered from the fucking super high ups to the military to fucking intelligence agencies down to fucking the public for consumerism later on down the line. Not cloning per se, but just the means of just technology in general. Why would that be impossible? You know what? Britney doesn't want to do this shit, or she fucking OD'd or something like that. We still need this influencer. So we have a clone, and she's just a fucking nut job. Why is that? That's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
I mean,
as dark as shit is,
they cloned her business model time and time again, right? Like you're going back late 90s, early 2000s, right? Our coming of age years, and that has been the same kind of rubber stamp that you've seen for the last 20 years, right? Of the type of pop star presented in front of you at a more degraded level as it goes on from a more and more oppressed community, every single star that's made. So, yeah, absolutely, I think plausible, John.
They end up all fucked up. It's fucking
crazy.
And you know what? Another thing too about getting back to the Chris Cornell, Chester Benningfield thing. Chester Benningfield has a son, and he recently came out. He said his dad and Cornell were basically undercover. They hated the Clintons, and like he was like, dude, he just like he unloaded. It's almost like nowadays, like people like this are coming to the forefront. They're saying the truth. They're not scared anymore. They're not scared of hiding. And that's just that's a whole nother wrinkle to that whole fucking shit. I don't believe those two guys fucking hanged themselves. They were fucking music stars. I don't fucking believe it, man. Not for a second.
No.
They were good people. They weren't like, the fucking Bad Bunnies or the fucking Lady Gagas.
Fuck Bad Bunny.
I want to just staying on the files for a second, right? The level of redaction that comes out is like the propaganda that's being spewed by what's redacted versus not redacted, the people that they're trying to pull in from the conservative side with unredacted names versus the liberal side that's completely redacted and unnamed. Who knows? I mean, I think the amount of specific targeted redaction and unredaction is atrocious.
It is a lot.
Joe Rogan's unredacted, right? And why? Because of influence, because people want to see the files, right? And Joe had zero negative interaction from what I've seen.
He just said, no, I don't want to go there.
Right.
Well, a lot of people that are in so-called in the Epstein files, it doesn't mean they did anything wrong. They just have like, you know what I mean? They could have went to dinner. They could have, you know, fucking Epstein could have want to like get him because obviously Epstein was an Israeli fucking agent to fucking try to bribe these people and get and blackmail these people and try to get them. And he wasn't successful all the time. You know, a lot of people like figured out like they kind of like stayed away from him. You know, look at the people like Sinead O'Connor back in the day or Michael Jackson. The mainstream media manipulated us into believing like Michael Jackson was a pedophile and Sinead O'Connor, when she ripped the fucking photo of the Pope, they villainized her, whatever. Vilified, that's the word. They vilified them. And dude, I'm starting to think like Michael Jackson wasn't a fucking pedophile. He was trying to protect these kids. Like even Macaulay Culkin, fucking Home Alone kid, he came out and said like, you know, Michael Jackson never took me. Fucking took me. Like, yeah, dude, he's not the only one. Is right. Like
Corey Feldman too.
Corey fucking came out. Like
they came out and said what?
That
he said he made police reports in the 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, all affirming the same thing, that it wasn't Mike, that there was something else going on.
Wow.
All those police reports allegedly, right? Not action.
So doesn't this make sense then? Michael Jackson became famous when he was a literal child, obviously, in the Jackson 5.
Yep.
So wouldn't it be possible that he was part of that by accident, knew what was going on with these fucking people, and said, I'm going to build this fucking Wonderland for kids, and whoever I can bring over to Neverland, I'm going to do that just to save 100%. Them one night of fucking harm.
John, 100%. I think,
and then they vilified him because he didn't want to. He was trying to protect.
Well, that's what Culkin was saying, right? Like Culkin was saying that he saved me from harm's way. Yeah. You know, he brought me to Neverland as protection, and I mean, I don't know. You know, look, the truth is somewhere in between the stated, the denied, and it's somewhere in the middle there. We gotta find the noise. But at the same time, like you've got somebody that's an influential person in my life, and I'm sure both of yours, right? Like the Christmas movie, the quintessential Christmas movie. This child is like a star of our upbringing. You don't want to ever see anything bad happen to Macaulay.
I mean, Neverland came out like Never Gonna Touch Me Land. You know, that's like the land he fucking created.
What did Michael Jackson look like in his 20s, and what did he look like when he died? Isn't it possible that white version of Michael Jackson was a clone?
John,
maybe the real Michael Jackson got murdered and they fucking.
I want to say yes to that, John, but I don't think so. I think he wanted to change himself so much because he got abused as a kid. And I think like that's why he created Neverland. He got abused so much he wanted to try to change himself and this. He knew what the industry was about and how these fucking people were vultures.
So how far back does it go? Right,
decades. It goes back decades for sure. Yeah. So one thing that you got to remember though, Michael Jackson did kind of indict himself. And when they asked him about sleeping with kids in the bed, and he's like, "Oh, what's the problem with that?" I mean, if he would have just been like, "No, they sleep in a different room. There's a whole fucking compound for the kids. I sleep somewhere else." This would kind of track a little bit better, but he did say that it's fine for adults to sleep in the bed with kids.
He couldn't lie. What
child molester thinks that's an acceptable response when questioned?
Exactly.
He's so innocent he didn't realize what he was saying. All right, you know what? It's possible. Like those people don't grow up in reality. When you grow up so famous that anywhere you go in the country or world, people know your name and want to cater to you. And
I can't imagine
want to be
sense of reality.
Want to be your friend. Think that every word out of their mouth is some type of praise for you. That's going to distort whatever, sense of ego you have and fucking hubris. So you're going to think you're a fucking god, especially as a kid where you have no frame of reference for it.
Yeah.
And Prince was a meanie.
Game. Blouses.
In your face, Charlie Murphy.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Chappelle's another guy that he had to leave the industry. They tried to bribe him with all this fucking money. He had to leave. There was people like I think Jim Brewer came out and said that like people were going after Chappelle, and Chappelle when he came back, Chappelle wasn't the same, and they were going like pretty much threatening Chappelle's kids. Like what the fuck?
First of all, before all these conspiracies and stuff like that, when Chappelle first came back, before I started connecting all these dots, Chappelle was like 50 pounds bigger. His face looked a little different. His voice a little bit different.
He was jacked.
Jacked. Prison muscles.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle was a fucking string bean his whole life. High pitched voice, more of like a fucking, jovial clown. This new Dave Chappelle is fucking terrible.
I mean, Dave Chappelle did come back from Saudi Arabia, right, after and dodged a murder indictment for a vehicular incident, from what I recall. Maybe I'm off base.
I don't remember that story.
He's talked about it in his comedy specials before, recently, I think. And, to go there and come back super jacked. He left because they wouldn't give him the money, got money, came back, got more money.
From the story, but they said that
what's that turning point where he flips, where you get a different Dave Chappelle when he comes back versus when he left?
While he was in Africa, he didn't want to do what they wanted him to do, because that was the deal. Comedy Central was going to give him $50 million for 4 seasons or whatever it was of the Chappelle show, but they wanted to have more influence over what they were going to do. He said no and bounced, supposedly, and then was off in Africa, never to be seen again. 10 or whatever it was years later, he comes back, this jack dude that now all of his comedy specials, especially that last one he put out, it's more preaching than comedy. There's jokes in it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's fucking preachy as fuck.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny, but it is preachy. And he was never, now that I think about it, he was never really preachy back in the day. Like, Killing Me Softly. He wasn't preachy at all in that, but nowadays, like, he is.
You don't think now he's just controlling his content in the way that he wants to control it? I mean, he did spend time in Africa, which is, conveniently close to a nation in turmoil at the moment, right? But maybe he is control. Maybe he's controlled. Maybe he's controlling his content differently. Maybe he's controlling his content in his own way. I don't know.
I think that they said if you want to be back in the spotlight, these are the messages you're going to fucking do. You're here to sow distrust between the races. You're here to be a fucking dividing force between black people and white people, and that's what he does. I mean, he went as far as lying about fucking Jack Johnson being pardoned by Biden. You're gonna tell me that you got paid millions and millions of dollars to put out a special for Netflix this year? You used the last half of it to have 2 closers, and then the whole crux of it is how Joe Biden pardoned what's his face, Jack Johnson, because he was fucking all these white women and all this shit. And it turns out that
friends with Hunter, bro.
And Jack Johnson was alive 100 years ago, but Jack Johnson got pardoned by Trump, actually. But what, you didn't even bother Google who pardoned him? You had to put it into your Netflix special. Now it's out there forever. People are fucking think that that's true, and it wasn't.
Wow,
even a little bit true. That Trump was the one, like the exact opposite of what he's saying. He wants to go out there and fucking be a Trump hater and fucking woke and all this shit. Just fuck all these people. You want to talk about Bad Bunny next and all that shit? Fuck him too, bro. I'm tired of these motherfuckers trying to just divide our country, dude.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking tired of it.
That's what it was.
There's censorship and there's lack of censorship, right? It's like who's controlling the narrative and what is the narrative really going towards? And it's just all smoke and mirrors. Look over here, misdirection.
Yeah. Exactly. When something's going out,
they should have had censorship during the Bad Bunny.
I would have loved some subtitles.
I
right?
mean,
some subtitles would have put clear display on everything that he was saying. The vulgarity involved is not something that should be nationally broadcast on public
children.
They would never put subtitles on that because then they would get fucking caught. Everybody would see it on their fucking TV. Exactly what he's saying. Suck the lollipop. This bitch is gonna get it was like a lot of vulgar shit with that, and it was just it was just nonstop with the fucking vulgar.
And why do you think he said so many times, bro? Because he couldn't say the lyrics of his own song. Because even still, they censored it to a point where he couldn't say everything. He says a bunch of things that he shouldn't have said to begin with.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. The last look at Dre and Snoop, and that halftime show was awesome. It was reminiscent, awesome. Loved it. You could say lots about it. It was great though, and it was tastefully done.
Yeah.
This one was not tastefully done. This one was, in my mind, significantly un-American.
Completely. I mean, it couldn't have been more un-American.
Way un-American.
And I mean, the funniest part about it was, okay, you want to have this fucking timeline of Hispanic culture and shit like that, yet the whole thing was like everybody's working on a plantation. Like that was the message, or that was the fucking scenery. Is like they're all just slaves on a fucking picking in the fields and stuff like that. They had people going out there and basically in ghillie suits that were fucking walking around like they were, things of grass.
They got 18-20 an hour. I mean,
18-20, bro.
My first job, I think I made $7.25 an hour.
I think I made less. I was 14.
You know what I mean? And like, I got working papers to go do that, right? And so you pay people 18-20 an hour, have strict rules for them. Good, you should. You're making $18 an hour. I don't care.
I'll
you
take
still
it.
get a hamburger for not much more than it was when I was a kid.
I made $4.75 in my for an hour back in
Food and service, yeah.
I was watching Patrick Bet David this week, which is a phenomenal podcast. Patrick Bet David, PBD podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, he's part owner of the Yankees. He's fucking awesome. He's an Iranian Syrian guy who left, and his parents brought him here, and he ended up being a fucking insurance agent, multimillionaire, whatever, and bought part of the Yankees. Anyways, on the podcast, he was saying, it's this year is America's 250th birthday. Like, he liked the show and all that stuff. Fine, whatever. If you think it was good, it was good. I don't care. But he's like, it's the 250th anniversary or birthday of America. Like, why wouldn't you use our biggest cultural event to sow unity with everybody? Why wouldn't you take that opportunity, 15 minutes, to have a Kid Rock and a fucking Bad Bunny go out there and have, like, we're all united, fucking raise their hands up together, Spanish and American, back and forth, duetting, just to create some type of unity. But no, not on the 249th, not on the 251st birthday. They use the 250th birthday to say, we're going to say, fuck ICE. They have them go on SNL, do this monologue. Oh, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you have 4 months to learn. If they didn't do that, we probably wouldn't have had as big a problem with it. But from the get-go of him being announced, It was about division. The whole entire fucking time, that's what it was about.
But who's scripting it, right? Like,
Jay-Z.
Bad Bunny. I feel like he could barely speak English, right? Like,
no, he speaks English.
He speaks it now, right? He's been in movies, right? He was in Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah.
Comic relief, nice. Learning English, learning language, assimilating into culture.
Well, he's from Puerto Rico.
And, Puerto Rico is part of the United States, right? Right. We can get to Puerto Rico, a different topic, but at the same time, like, who's scripting this, right? Like, Bad Bunny is not the mastermind behind it. But
he's a pawn. He's somebody who's
a pawn that's being told to do this, and
probably blackmailed
instructions. Right?
Exactly.
He's doing the job. Who's the one telling him to do it that way? That's the problem.
The same people that are paying all these protesters, the same people that are fucking trying to fucking overturn elections and just compromising everybody. It's the same fucking Soros, all those types of guys. It's that group that's doing all of this. Yeah, it's the head of that fucking demonic snake. That's who it is.
How many heads are there, right? I feel like this is.
I mean, it's probably
a single head.
It's probably a global network. So, Joe,
I agree. They probably all meet somewhere. Right.
So that's the thing.
Like, how many heads to this Hydra exist? Right?
Bohemian Grove.
You have to cut off before you get to the fucking heart of it.
So this is my theory that I said in the last time I was on here. I'll see what you think about it. I think, you know how there's like this battle of good and evil. There's metaphors in the Bible. You just see it in all the movies. Like, it's just part of our kind of. We're just attracted to the idea of good versus evil. Iron Man versus fucking Whiplash. All this shit. What if a few hundred years ago, 400, 500, 600 years ago, whatever it was, evil won? They won, right? Done. And then we're now living in the aftermath, hundreds of years later, in the aftermath of the victory.
I would feel better in that circumstance about how things are today than if that weren't the case. Right, because that just means that there is good still fighting back, right? And if it was only 400 or 500 years ago that evil won and good lost, good is already rallying back. Like, it would make me feel better about where things are today,
absolutely,
right? But at the same time, like, if we lost, right? If the right guys lost and the narrative is completely controlled by the devil, then. What's our responsibility to change it? Right,
we have to eradicate it.
This is a mechanism to do that, right?
Yeah, conversations.
Right.
So you got to think. They have tentacles. Sorry for the listeners who heard this last time, but I just got to explain it to Joe. They have tentacles in every medium of society, in local government, state government, federal government, international government, fucking in the military, in education, in fucking the pharmaceutical industries, in the medical field, in education, in lower education, in upper education, in every possible facet of life. They have people infiltrated in there. Isn't that a harder task if you're really still trying to take over? Or isn't it easier to say, I'm going to let this grow out. I'm going to have in America because I want to have a society that can create a better life for us rich people. We need America. We need human ingenuity. We need human fucking what's it called?
Evil and rich are
motivation.
not synonymous, though, right? Like, and that's a key piece, right? And the fact that we're fighting back, Evil One is like something I refuse to accept, right? Evil One all those years ago, right? It hasn't won, right? The game's not over. It's not done. And like, money does not mean evil.
No.
Maybe many evil people have money, but you know, the ability to use that money to combat the evil, I think, is where we're at today still. And if it happened, like you said, in that hypothesized theory in the last pod, fine. We're already rallying back, and it just shows the inferiority of evil versus good. Doesn't mean we don't have evil shit to deal with today, but
I mean, it explains transgenderism. It explains fucking so many.
You want to go there, like the fall of most.
That's why they want to kill Trump.
Most civilizations that have exceeded their growth or dominated the world in recorded history have had, right before the fall, this intelligible conflict of
gender identity.
Yep.
It's always a precursor to the fall of a society. So that's extremely possible. I think that's why they hate Trump so much, because all these different ways, all the fraud, all the fucking abuse in the government, all the fucking lies, all the fucking media control, all this shit, he is a agent against that. And it takes no more convincing, for me at least, than saying, okay, what are the chances that Trump turns his head in Butler, Pennsylvania, and his head doesn't splatter all over television? Remember, he had 91 rallies that year. The only one CNN was ever at was that one. What are the chances of the only time that they were going to broadcast that a rally for Trump, the only time in the entire 2024 campaign was that rally?
I mean, I think he's an embodiment of good money, right?
Sure.
That's what it is, right? That is good fighting the evil bureaucracy that has existed.
And that's why they're trying to kill him.
Did win, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like, he is good money. Whether his money has been good his whole life, give it to him, doesn't matter, right? He is doing good with his money. He's hiring the right people, doing the right things, making strategic alliances for the entire organization that is the United States of America, for the good of people. And I had 2 kids last year. Trump's investing in their future, $1,000. I mean, I know this is not the topic convo for today, guys, and I'll back it off. But at the same time, like, we're talking about the Super Bowl and the performance that went off. We're talking about the pride that we were all raised with in the United States of America, and how that's absent today.
Completely.
Right. How, I'm a Roman Catholic, was raised 12 years Roman Catholic school. Happy to do there, learn great intrinsic values, was taught about multiple faiths in that time of study. Faith can't be a divisor, right? There's a separation of church and state for a reason. And the more that this type of influence has that injects the two together, the worse off we are. And I think a lot of it is rooted in religion and the religion's influence that it has in politics. And it's not one religion, it's a couple of religions, and I won't name them, but you guys feel free to be open to interpretation and make your own decision.
I already know. It's tough because, by the way, like, when you guys were talking, I just felt like an earthquake here. Like a little fucking earthquake. Or fucking
really?
Yeah, we gotta look that up after the pod to see if an actually earthquake did happen. I felt the fucking house shake.
Wow.
But, anyway, like, you guys are like on point. Like the way the division was with the whole Bad Bunny, it's not about like Spanish. It's not about that, because we had J-Lo years ago that did the halftime show.
Shakira did it.
Shakira, they came out.
From this one.
They had singing "Born in the USA." They pulled out like an American flag and a Puerto Rican flag. That was awesome, John. You said it before you started the conversation. It was about unity. That's what we wanted, and we didn't see that. And that's
we saw it, but we saw a narrow lens of focus on it. Right? We saw Latino unity. And look, we've got a tremendous amount of legal Latino Americans, 100%. Right? U.S. is a melting pot. There's a lot that aren't legal. And I mean, the Puerto Ricans are absolutely legal, right? They're part of the United States. Well, they should have a voice, but at the same time, that voice should be the voice of the United States.
Right. Everybody should be America first.
Yes.
Forget all the other bullshit. If we could do that, if we could get unified again, like, after 9/11, how at the whole fucking world, like the whole United States was just unified.
Let's hope it doesn't take an act of war for it to happen again.
You know what, bro?
It almost seems like it wants to happen. Like,
I honestly don't even think if another 9/11 happens, the following couple of weeks or whatever it was that the country was just fucking fully unified, flags from fucking sea to shining sea on people's cars and fucking porches and all.
It might
wouldn't
not
happen the
last.
same way now. Their tentacles, their
Great, you're
power,
right.
their talons are so deep on the other side of the aisle.
Crazy.
They don't have American flags on that side of the aisle, bro.
It's
They
not
have
just the talons on the other side of the aisle. It's the influence that those talons have had on the population. Right?
Sure,
and
but
and the belief of the nation has changed from our generation to the generation.
They've taken out patriotism out of American society. The only reason you would do that, because you got to think, if you own a war, if you are the leader of a country or leaders of a country or just the leading class of a country,
countries as well.
Sure, yeah, but I just mean as far as like any country, you need a fucking military. The only way to have a military is to have men that grow up with the ideals of the nation, pride in the nation, that will lay their life and limb on the line for the nation. Well, guess what? If you take 2 generations of people, make them anti-American, why would they ever sign up? And if they were forced into it, they're not going to fight the same way that our grandfathers did and great-grandfathers did in World War II and in fucking Vietnam and all these other wars that men have died for. They're not going to do that.
What we'll get an amplified version of Vietnam if the same type of shit that you're talking about before happens again tomorrow, right? Like the unity that you get from a nation isn't going to be the 20s, the 30s. It's not going to be World War I, World War II. You know, each single conflict that we've entered in since those has been met with more and more resistance from the American populace, and that's all a product of the fingers that are fucking poking the bear.
Yes.
The only way we come together, I think you're right, John. I don't think we come together. Like after another 9/11, I think the only way we do is like something like AI really takes over and the robots fucking take over and we have no choice.
A non-human.
But to make a logical decision on where we go next, that's the only way that it gets back to what it was.
Right. You don't have common sense or logic anymore, Joe.
What we really need is
we don't.
No, you certainly don't. So if you ever watch, there's a video from this Russian guy right around like 1984, around that time frame, where he describes how to use subversion. Like if you can't fight a military because the military you're fighting is just too powerful, like the American military, the only way to take over that country and defeat it is subversion. And he describes how it takes a couple of generations of getting into the board of education, getting into the school system, and indoctrinating 2 generations of people into being anti-whatever country it is, in our case, anti-American.
You're describing Obama.
Well, you're describing from the 80s.
Is a late
piece that's late.
Right? Like these are those fingers working. Like
that was from the
5 fingers deep by the time you get to Obama.
It was in the
crazy.
80s that this
That's
happened.
a fucking crazy thought.
Yeah,
right? It's consecutive and cumulative from like I said, it started with Vietnam, right? And you have this subculture and with the hippies, right? And then it expands from there. And I think innocuous at first, and then progressively worse. But at the same time, who's pushing free thought now?
That's
Nobody.
Crazy.
The right is pushing free thought.
Is it free?
Yes.
Like
more so than the left.
I agree with you 100%. And
The
I
left,
stand there with you.
The left is straight up, this is our ideology, points 1 through 100.
So
and
you can't even blame the hippies then, right? But like you see the first example of protest being successful with the war in Vietnam. And then since then, how many conflicts and how many fingers have been twisted, right? What, gold standard switch in the early 80s?
60s,
maybe
I think.
It was 80 or 81, I think. Like gold
I
standard
think it was
we abandoned, and since then it's just been predominantly worse, right? But I think the fingers that are the hands that are holding the fingers that are twisting the puppets, and Obama is absolutely 5 fingers fucking deep in our asshole, fucking America up.
Yeah, well, think about it. His first
thing. How many fingers since then?
Yeah.
How many people, man?
Yeah, his first fucking term was about yes we can and positive and all this stuff. His second term, his second campaign was about change and about black versus white and about oppression and all this shit. Since then, if you look at the race relations surveys that they did in the 90s and 2000s, it got to a point where both blacks and whites were like, yeah, we're fine now. There's really not much racism that, as racism was known pre-2005. the racism that people thought about, where people were going and fucking killing people and fucking them up and all that shit, that shit was gone. You had suburban kids from coast to coast fucking singing Jay-Z and fucking Biggie and Tupac, wearing fucking Aniche and fucking Sean John. The culture blended, and they needed to make sure, hey, listen, we can't have, 250 white Americans, 45 million black Americans all singing the same fucking song. We need to make sure that we break this back up again. So what do? We talk about fucking slavery again. If you look at a flow chart of slavery being talked about from the 1800s, late 1800s, it just petered off down. Boom, you get to 2010, 2012, this shit skyrockets back up to today. It wasn't talked about It wasn't talked about in the 90s and the 2000s anywhere near the same degree as it's talked about right now. Now you have any black person you come across that's been indoctrinated, which is like 90% of them. Everything is about race. It goes to race instantly.
Right. Who's manipulating this, John? Who's
what
manipulating
land of the free, home of the brave, right? I'm sorry, I forgot. We're living on fucking stolen land. Don't get me started there. Right? Like fucking Billie Eilish's acceptance speech doesn't have an opportunity except with that, right? You live on stolen land and you have an opportunity, but now you want to be happy about living on stolen land.
That shit was so funny.
Why are people listening to celebrities to begin
with? Because before the internet,
it's paid marketing, dude. That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. They did the same thing during COVID.
Paid and compromised marketing. But here's the thing:
leveraged,
yeah, exactly, leveraged, or whatever, blackmailed fucking people.
Oh, of course, paid, blackmail, whatever. They get
side note about the Billie Eilish thing. That fucking law firm in LA. Did you see about that law firm? Oh my, Mike, did you see about this? The law firm in LA?
No.
So there's a law firm in LA that right after this Billie Eilish thing happens, that said that they would pro bono recognize the tribe whose land was quote unquote stolen to sue Billie Eilish to give her the $8 million, give them the $8 million property.
That's fucking free marketing. I mean, I can't blame them. That's American capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
Right? Like, good for them. Good for them. That's a great angle to see. That's creative marketing. Yeah. That is a creative target for, I'm going to stake my firm's reputation on this is how we can be nationally known. And they probably did 7 cases before that, and with 4 fucking undergrad attorneys. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. They were a huge marketing, huge law firm, and they said, "Fuck this bitch. We're going to take her fucking house." Just the thought of it, and said we're going to represent the fucking Tongva, whatever tribe it was, pro bono to sue them, because she admitted that her house was on stolen land. It's not her house. It belongs to them. So now it's just a matter of fucking trying it. I can't imagine it's going to go that way. And then she fucking says, "Oh yeah, fuck you guys. I paid for this. I bought and paid for it." It's like, oh, interesting. So you paid for the land, which recognized the fact that someone else owned it. You bought from them, and now you're the owner of the land. So how is no one illegal on stolen land if you can buy it? And then furthermore, if you just look back at the history of any parcel of land not named Antarctica, pretty much on the entire globe, it belonged to somebody, to some tribe or a village or something like that. And then they kept it as long as they could until an invading force took them over, killed the men, raped the women, killed the children, enslaved the children, and then they planted their flag. Every part of land anywhere in the globe, that's how it's always worked.
Right. It happens. Shit happens. That's the history of it. Like, you can't erase history, people.
Yeah. So at what point is it like, okay, so I live in New Jersey, let's say it's the fucking, I don't know, the fucking Sioux Indian fucking tribe. But okay, they had it, and when the colonialists came over to America, great. Who had it right before them? So when does your timeline start?
Do any of us own land? We have houses. We pay taxes.
No, we have to fucking pay taxes.
Right?
You hear the knock? You guys heard the knock on your door?
Right. The country owns
land.
You heard the knock? You just heard the knock on your door? It's the Sioux Indian tribe fucking coming over claiming their fucking territory.
I'm just saying.
Get out.
But okay, so then you say, okay, they're the ones who had it when the white man came, but the Sioux, if that's who it was, they took it from somebody else, the Lenape tribe or the fucking Iroquois tribe. They took it from somebody. They were savages. They were fucking eating people and fucking all this shit. What you say? Okay, and 1776 when we signed the Declaration of Independence, great. We came 150 years earlier, 200 years earlier, great. What happened 400 years before? Why does your timeline arbitrarily start when the white man came, not the different color red guy came? The fuck,
John, we're all here because of that. That's why we're here today.
How many
We're
places?
here.
I wonder, Mike. How many places are left on the world where the first settlers are still the occupiers?
No one.
How many?
Mohegan's son. I don't know.
None, bro. None.
They
Zero.
don't exist, right?
Yeah,
So,
Zero.
it doesn't
to
exist.
your point, it's the evolution of man. Like you're there first, and you're still there today. I mean, it's your land. But they're the only ones that can say it.
It's your land as
Right.
long as you can defend it.
Right.
That's it.
The government.
Right.
That was part of the reason why we have the Second Amendment.
That's
Main
true.
reason is to defend your fucking land so no one can come here and take it from you.
If there's somebody other group that wants to come to America and try to like take over our land, it's gonna take
Come
a
on,
lot.
baby.
Come try it. Like you might not win. That's why we're a superpower, because nobody would actually dare try it. If you did, you get slaughtered.
Protected by two oceans, two friendly countries, and more guns than beating hearts in this country.
Right. You wouldn't make
And
it.
the most advanced military the world's ever seen.
Yeah,
But
maybe
this
another
is-
topic for another day. But the number of migrant, military-aged male Chinese that are been moving into the United States. I'm less concerned about the folks coming from Mexico or Canada or
Yeah.
from the Middle East through the South American Channel. I'm more concerned about the affluential militarized aged male Chinese immigration. I think that's a bigger concern
It's
from an
stupid.
American security standpoint.
Nobody's
talking about it. Right? I bet
agree.
Mike, look up the numbers and maybe you put it on your next podcast topics list. But the fucking numbers of people that I'm seeing, I live in Edison, New Jersey, right? Happy to tell you where I am. The number of Chinese, Korean, Asian influenced cultures moving in there. I mean, it's not what
They
I
snuck
grew up
in.
with.
They snuck in during
Right.
the border.
Yes.
During the open borders. It wasn't just Mexicans, but
No.
they fucking snuck
wasn't
in.
South
China
Americans,
took
no.
it.
I'm not concerned about our neighbors to the north and our neighbors to the south.
No,
I'm
they
concerned
found an
about
easy way in.
the drugs that come in through there that negatively impact our economy. Sure, absolutely concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the folks that come, naturalize themselves with home country agendas, obtain and abuse the right to bear arms and militarize themselves within the country
And who knows
when
what
they
else?
attack.
And who knows what else?
I'm more concerned about that.
Who knows what else? Why? How do we not know that there's fucking Chinese sleeper cells around the fucking country?
Over the
All
last
these
years,
Chinese businesses buying land,
John,
farms outside of military bases,
guys,
buying fucking buildings and just leaving them fucking open for no reason. What is all
Look
of
at
that?
New York, dude. The majority of high-rise luxury apartment towers are owned in China or somewhere
Dude.
out on that side of the world.
Why?
Unoccupied.
Listen,
They're plundering.
It makes no fucking sense.
yo,
At the same time, they have places to.
after
So that's why the Democratic Party, which back in the day, especially like when we were kids, they were more of the, because back then the Republicans were legit war hawks. They wanted to go to fucking Desert Storm. They wanted to go to do all these wars that no one agreed with, and more people were fucking left leaning because they didn't care about people being gay. They didn't care about fucking interracial marriage. They didn't care about fucking any of these different things. They just wanted people just to live in fucking harmony and be fine. Now that party, like everything else, like religion and fucking everything else, was infiltrated by demonic forces, and that's why you would leave your fucking. As soon as you come in office, boom, open up the thing, open up the fucking southern border, and then there's videos of YouTubers going down there, and it's not fucking women and children who are fucking seeking asylum. It's just loads, caravans of military-age men from places that if we had a border would never be allowed fucking in here the easy way. So that shit's fucking treason. In the history of our country and most countries that any of us listening to this come from, treason is punishable by death. Right? What we experienced during the Biden administration, if he was even a fucking live, it might have been a fucking clone himself.
I agree.
It was absolute treason, and God forbid Trump didn't win that fucking election, bro. And they were able to keep doing that shit. Man, right now,
Just because he won, we're not out of the woods, John. Right? Like,
sure.
Just because he won,
Sure.
we're not out of the woods.
There's work to be done.
There's been years and years of the quiet infiltration that has gone under the radar and is still potentially weaponizing. Right? That's the stuff that's being ignored, and the opportunity for them is being given by the unrest being created by the conservative or the liberal left at the moment. Right? They're just opening the door for the takeover to create the instability required for it to be more advantageous for an external country to come and invade.
I think we were like a little bit like worried about, not just like these people coming in and, I don't know if you guys are worried about sleeper cells, but I think more worried not just about that, but the way they're infiltrating like our everyday life and our minds through social media, getting people to go one side or the other. I think it's really bad, man. I think it's come to a point where, man, they really did a good job. And I said it before, like with Obama, with its divisiveness and trying to destroy the country within. I mean, there's rumors that he was a CIA agent planted here to cause that. Now, I don't know, allegedly, I don't know how true that is, but when you look at all the shit that's come out recently, why wouldn't that be believable now? When you wouldn't think this shit is believable. It's almost like we became our own reality show in this fucking world.
It's the evolution of Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Like, this is what the art of war is today, right? With technology enabled, it's the level of subterfuge that's required to control a nation. And that is the advanced ultimate art of war. That's we're seeing unfold before our eyes and are left seemingly helpless to defend against because of the amount of people that are coming across.
Yeah, we're living in it.
What a fucking world.
Shocking is that? Oh,
yeah,
anyway, that was deep, man. That was fucking deep. What'd you say, John?
Yeah, any more topics?
Yeah, dude, like real quick. I just want to I know we went off a deep end, but getting back to the halftime show real quick. Don't forget, I think it was a devil worshiping ritual. They had Lady Gaga there, which I think she is the worst. If anybody ever watched her videos or Bad Bunny's videos,
why is she singing a Bruno Mars song?
I don't know, man.
Too, bro. That's why he's stuck. He's stuck in Vegas forever, and she's just taking his music and singing it. I wish I saw Bruno Mars.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about with that.
Lady Gaga song and Bruno Mars song at the halftime of the Super Bowl was the only English I heard the whole fucking show.
What?
You sang a little bit of Spanish and then then the rest of English.
What Bruno Mars song did she sing?
I don't know. It was fucking I don't know. I don't know why she came on stage to begin with. But like I said, she's a devil worshiper. Look at her fucking videos. It's fucking satanic. It's fucking really, really sick.
She's a shapeshifter, bro. I couldn't even tell. I didn't even know it was her at first. She's changed her face so much.
Die with a smile.
Yeah, Die with a smile.
Really? That's what it was?
That's the name of the song she sung. Yeah.
That's the fucking
It's a Bruno Mars song. Right? And what? They had him locked up in Vegas. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, because he owes crazy money, apparently.
That's the theory, right?
Yeah. Lady Gaga.
I don't believe that either.
That's Michael Jackson 2.0, dude. Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Jackson 2.0, and they'll do the same thing they did to him.
Yeah, so just Joe, for everybody that don't know exactly what happened with Bruno Mars.
I mean, there's speculation all over, right? That he, got in so much debt that, like an Elvis 2.0 type situation where you have to see with so much money that he's indoctrinated to have to perform there until he pays down his debt. I mean, I don't know if I believe that necessarily. I think there's probably higher powers at play.
But he just disappeared.
I think he's around still. I think he's still. Yeah, I think we'll probably go see him tomorrow, or at least a version of him. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anymore. But yeah, that was like the first time I was hearing about all that fucking shit. But then I started thinking about it, I haven't seen him in a while. Where's he fucking been?
Bruno Mars is going on tour soon too. He's still around. I think he I remember, I don't really follow pop culture like that. But Bruno Mars apparently was like crazy millions of dollars in debt, had some kind of crazy gambling addiction that fucking I guess now he's, captured from that. I don't really know.
Wow.
But that's what I remember reading something about that he was something about gambling debts in the millions. And I guess maybe that's what it is.
I just listen, I guess as the topic of the show, just be careful, everybody. Yeah, be careful, whatever industry, whatever you're doing. Be careful of the people around you, the people that are fucking in the media, celebrities, influencers, trying to catch your brain. Be careful of those people because they're out to get you. And you got to find the truth, man. All these conspiracy theories, like we said at the top of the show, they were right. A lot of them were right. And we just thought it was so kooky and crazy that we just didn't believe them or didn't want to believe them. And I think now you're starting to show a lot of this shit is fucking true.
Yeah, it's like science fiction, It's only fiction until it's not.
I'll be careful out there. Well, guys, I think that's a wrap of the pod. John, obviously, thanks for coming on. Joel, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And maybe we'll see each other on soon. So everybody out there, be safe. Peace.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Never mind about what I've seen. I'll sit alone in this disguise, but I'll try.